Welcome to our walk around on the FHH Magnitude 55L Plus. This trailer is designed to hold 55 tons and 10 feet. It's also equipped with the FHH Heavy Haul hydraulic removable gooseneck. It's probably the fastest and easiest and most versatile gooseneck in the industry. One of the things that makes our gooseneck different than the traditional pin and plate goosenecks is we utilize a hook and shaft design. So you have these large main beam hooks and you have this shaft that runs across the bottom of this gooseneck. As long as you can get this shaft up under these hooks, you can load and unload and hook up this trailer in uneven conditions. So in muddy terrain, gravel, those kind of things, you can be on uneven surfaces and be able to hook this back up easily. One of the great features of the FHH hydraulic removable gooseneck when you're reattaching the gooseneck is this V-guide. So when you're reattaching, if you get close, this is going to push you into the right area so that you can hook up very easily. With a pin and plate design, you're going to need to be on a more flat surface in order for that hookup to work out well. So kind of looking at the front of the trailer, this trailer is equipped with a 102 swing radius gooseneck. You can see the brackets already here to add a 23-inch flip box that'll give you a 125-inch swing radius. On the front, these glide hands are recessed to protect from damage when you're hooking and unhooking your truck. Same with your hydraulic connections in this area right here. They're recessed in this area just to prevent damage when hooking and unhooking. Here you have a removable kingpin, so if you damage that kingpin, you can easily replace the kingpin without having to cut it out. This trailer is also set up with an optional kingpin. So what that does is where this setting is at a 102 swing radius, this kingpin that you put in this place is for an 81-inch swing clearance. If you're in a tight position, you can drop back and use that kingpin setting so that you have a smaller span to get in and out of tight areas. Kind of continuing back, all FHH hydraulic removable goosenecks are equipped with this dual prong frame jack. So what this does is it comes down and connects with the rails on both sides of your tractor so that you don't have your gooseneck shifting side to side. A lot of the competition has a single prong so that you can have that shift on your gooseneck, which can cause problems when you're trying to rehook to your trailer. So here are the controls for operating the hydraulics on this trailer. The first control is for your frame jack assembly. Your second control is to raise and lower the deck of this trailer. This trailer here would be set up with a wet line kit. If your truck doesn't have a wet line kit, you might want to consider the optional self-contained 13 horsepower Honda power unit for operations. One of the things we talk about with a pin and plate design versus our hook and shaft design is we have a mechanical pin located here. So the nice thing about the mechanical pin is the fact that if you bend it on the yard or when you're hooking and unhooking, you can kind of easily repair it in the field. If you have a traditional pin and plate, those are harder to repair and you're typically going to have to wait for parts to come in. The nice thing with the 55L is it's already equipped with front flip ramps. So you can easily pull your connections, and there's a small bin here to tuck these in and store them. So before you attach the gooseneck, you would always want to make sure that those are stored out of the way. You can easily unchain the flip ramp and flip it over. What this flip ramp does on this model is because you have an 18-inch loaded deck height trailer and those hooks are exposed, this will allow you to get up on there without having issues with clearing the hooks. This is what we call the rack and pawl system. This is actually a dual pawl, which is optional. Typically they come with a single pawl. So on a single pawl, you're gonna have 5 ride height positions. With this dual pawl, you'll have 7 positions. So what this does is when you rotate it, you're gonna hear it click through the notches as you operate it. Typically you're going to run on the second notch down, which is gonna give you about a 50-inch nominal fifth wheel height. Each of these notches changes your height by about 2 inches. So kind of looking at the deck, this trailer is standard with a 25-foot deck. You have optional decks for 26 and 27 foot. The nice thing we do at FHH is when we say you have a 25-foot deck, you truly have clear deck length of 25 foot. A lot of your competition will measure part of this area in their clear deck length, so you truly can't load on all of that area. We also offer this is 8'6" wide, so we also offer it in some 9 wide configurations. Located at the front of the deck, you have dual locking toolbox storages. So as you can see, you can open both of these up and lock in chains and binders or anything you need for your loads. You'll also see stored in this toolbox is your heavy duty front hook-on brackets for the front and rear of the deck. So talking about features on the side of the deck, this is a swing out outrigger. This is utilized when you're doing over width equipment. These are actually designed that if they're overloaded that you are going to see them break sometimes, but what that does is prevents you from damaging this side rail, which is a much more extensive repair. You also have these bent D-rings that are rated for 10,000 pounds each. And looking at the cross members, we use full width cross members which pierce through the main beam and are welded to each side rail. Cross member centers are on 24 inches and all main longitudinal steel is fabricated with 100 KSI. We use 2-inch Apatong on this, which is probably the most durable and best wood in the industry for this type product. So again, we talked about that this is an 18-inch loaded deck height trailer with 6-inch ground clearance. So as you move and continue to move back along the deck, you'll see the last 3 cross members are recessed. This reduction in height allows you to tuck a boom or bucket and those things down there to keep your overall height down. You know, the lower you can get your equipment in there, the better you are from a permitting and a height standpoint. You'll see there's D-rings located in this area as well for additional tie-down points. There's also an optional hammer plate that you can put in this area. That way you have something to rest the boom or your bucket on for transport. One of the things that we've done over the last couple of years is also remove this front cross member in this bogie area. And that was removed just so that you could continue to reduce that height when you're putting booms in this area. The deck to bogie connection on this trailer is a fixed connection, which is going to provide you a lighter weight without sacrificing strength. One option that you might want to consider depending on what you're hauling and how often you're coming back empty from locations is an optional chain lift. Again, it's not equipped on this trailer, but they're easy to utilize. All you're going to do is you're going to dump all the air out of your suspension. You're going to shut a cutoff valve off on top of the airbag, attach the chain and air the trailer back up, and it's going to pick this axle up. Continuing to kind of move back, we use heavy duty bolsters. The nice thing about these, because they are load bearing, you can put wheeled equipment up here with no problems. Also, the other feature that you can add as optional is load bearing wheel covers. Adding the wheel covers is going to add about 1,500 pounds, but depending on what you're loading, that might be something you want to consider. When we talk about the suspension, this is equipped with a Hendrickson suspension. This is a ride height control valve that allows you to change the height of your trailer at the rear. So if you're going under overpasses or over railroad tracks, you can change this height to make sure that you're not getting caught or that you can have clearance to go under. Typically, most people are going to ride in that middle position, so there's 5 positions. This trailer is equipped with optional outside aluminum wheels. Our standard wheels are going to be steel disc wheels, and this is standard with 275 tires. As we continue to the back of the trailer, there are several features located in this area. One being the strobe kit. So you see that there are amber strobes in the center here. All you have to do to operate the amber strobes is flip the switch. The nice thing about this strobe system is it charges while it hooks to your truck, but because there is a battery backup, if you have to detach and leave a trailer on the side of the road, these strobe lights are still going to work. The other feature here at the rear is all of these trailers are equipped with a 3rd axle airlift. So if you're going back home empty and want to lift the 3rd axle, you can easily do that. All you have to do is pull this switch to activate that airlift 3rd. On this side of the trailer, you have actually a dump valve. So if you pull this switch, it's actually going to dump all air out of the suspension. You would want to do this prior to loading and unloading any type of equipment. This is going to provide, when you dump all the air, this is going to be the safest way to load and unload equipment. Also here at the rear, you have, top brackets and lower brackets that are going to hook either to a 4th axle or to what we call the 3+1 configuration, which is going to be a spreader bar and a 4th axle. You'll also see that you have all of your connections for air and electrical, this low profile bumper area here, so that you can easily attach all those connections. Also here, this is called the V-pan. So this is recessed as well to help you reduce the height on those booms. So it allows you to tuck your booms in and get to the lowest height possible. I hope you found this walk around of the Magnitude 55L Plus helpful. Just to reiterate, the Magnitude 55L Plus is designed for 55 tons and 10 feet. It's got the most versatile hydraulic removable gooseneck in the industry. and it's backed by a name and brand that you all trust and know, Fontaine. See your local dealer for additional details.